right now anyway, till the end. I know you're enjoying my little dance moves. Countdown to restoration. We are counting down the limited number of days of the illegal, horrible, destructive, and limited Joe Biden regime. Yes. Anyway, I am your host. If I can get my name up there, as something is being weird. There we go. Danny Thompson. Yes, out of Amarillo, Texas. Only good things come from Texas, or so I've been told. Anyway, here we are. There you are. Thank you for watching. I want to thank everybody who's been watching. Man, we've had a couple of good spikes in shows and, pretty good average audience. So tell somebody. Tell somebody. Please tell somebody. Anyway, direct them to Rumble and give us a Rumble. I'm not sure what that does, but I think it's good. Anyway, a lot of things. Anyway, but it's all right. It's all right. Limited, not the show, which is, but the reign of those in charge. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. I have no idea what that has to do with anything. SecularDems.org. You need to know this. We will be doing a show on this soon. What do they want? They want to destroy us, ladies and gentlemen. It is that simple. Restoring constitutional secularism. I don't know why I have a hard time with that word. And patriotic pluralism in the White House, which means in everybody's house. I don't care if you have a purple house. They want to get to you. Anyway, we will be doing a show on that. They are evil, and they have evil plans for this country. And we have our poster child for the Biden regime, Dr. Rachel Levine. I'm not sure. Anyway, I need to find out his real name, his boy name, but pray for this person, okay? It's not, transgenderism is not a joke. Yeah, sometimes it's hard not to laugh, but these are hurting people and they need help. It's just, this totally describes the Biden regime. It's just not good. The daily briefing today from the briefing room at whitehouse.gov is exactly the way it was yesterday. I told you yesterday Mr. Biden was having some problems. They had to cut some things back. If you watched the press conference yesterday, you will notice that Jen Psaki had to say, well, we were going to do this on Friday, but, and what did they do? They moved the youthful president pretender. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? We almost didn't do it. Oh, let's get to it. Where is it? The what? The thief in chief. Yeah. Yeah. They moved him into what? The Oval Office, where he doesn't have to really walk down the hall. And so, they're scaling back. He's not holding up so well. That's what happens when you are so desperate to get in that you pick someone who can't work a 40-hour week. All right. That's what we got, folks, for a limited time. This offer is only for a limited time. It's my announcer voice. What else do we have here? Okay, from May for U.S. House. John Kerry admitted the U.S. produces only 10% of Earth's pollution, but China produces 40%. U.S. and China produce the same amount of goods, so the U.S. is far more efficient, the U.S. is far less polluting, and the U.S. should be followed rather than being punished by Joe Biden. But see, it's not Joe Biden's decision. It's the world's decision. Because if we can get down to zero, China can go up to 45 or 50% emissions. See how that works? Yeah. And we're going to get to zero, folks. Zero money, zero emissions, zero food. Venezuela is our world. Anyway, it would be, except this is a limited time offer. Anyway, got to get some more video clips on everything. Should have something to go to on Venezuela. All right. Looks like Biden Inc. is still in business. The president's son reportedly still has a 10% stake in a Chinese private equity firm, despite the president promising this won't happen. We also have other good things to tell you that sadly we're lying about, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to tell you anyway, and most people are going to believe it because it's coming from the Democrats, and we're honest, good people, and we don't have mean tweets. Yes. So, and besides, we were all worried that Hunter would go broke. Yeah. Well, that's what we have. What else do we have here? Oh, how about this? Because one of our favorite topics is equity, which is different from equality. And here we have from Biden's HUD nominee, equity doesn't mean treating everyone the same. Oh, really? We won't be equal? We will be equitable. The Declaration of Independence. All men, women, and genders are created equitable. Yeah, that would have made the history books, wouldn't it? Yeah, well, it's probably the way they're writing it now. We keep telling you, what else do we have? What else do we have? Oh, yes, from this very learned man. You have probably heard of him. Oh, wait a minute. It's the wrong learned man. Where is it? Oh, here. I don't know why. Oh, if I can get to it there. No, we should have had that after Dr. Rachel Levin, huh? Maybe it's here. Well, no, we've got it on here, but for some reason it won't come up. So anyway, so equity, we are, well, anyway, we'll just put that one up. I guess that's what wants to go up. It's the wrong one. States planning transgender push. All right, so they're pushing back on the transgender thing. States like my home state of Texas, like Montana, they are passing laws to say boys can't play on girls' teams and go into girls' locker rooms and restrooms. About 19 states on that. So good for them. Well, I can't believe that. I had a good article. But anyway, let's go more here. Biden's DOJ pick, Kristen Clark, railed against Sessions' task force protecting religious liberty. That's who he wants heading up the Department of Justice Civil Rights Office. What else did she have to say? Well, let's see through the magic of whatever magic this is. DOJ should be working to fight discrimination and protect the rights of the vulnerable communities, Clark wrote on Twitter in 2018. Instead, Jeff Sessions is launching a religious liberty task force to make it easier for people to use religion to mask their discriminatory goals. It's shameful. Yeah, because we can't have religious liberty. We need religious equity. Yeah, come on. One more. There's one more buyer. I know there was. Wasn't there? Let's see. If not, I'll have to fire my producer. Here it is. Wait a minute. Come down a little bit. I advocate for defunding policing operations that have made African Americans more vulnerable to police violence and contributed to mass incarceration, while investing more in programs and policies that address critical community needs. Well, This is a great pick, Joe. You did good. Oh, and I don't think we have a slide of it because of time, but turns out that all those those private federal prisons that they're not going to contract with anymore, not that many of them. Not going to make that big of a difference, but it sounds good. Wasn't that a great speech? We're going to cut that out because if we can cut out privately funded prisons, no black people will be in federal prison. No, it's just all talk. It's just talk. These people, they know all the buttons to push. All right, that was that. What do we have here? White House cries foul after New York Times editorial board rebukes overuse of executive orders. Yeah, you think 5 million and 32 is a little much? I know it wasn't 5 million. Okay, what are we up to? 37, something like that. Even the liberals are saying, this is not good. But if you watch the news conference, Jen Psaki is taking care of everything. She's saying, we have to do it. It's the only way. Yeah. They don't care. All right, where are we here? Oh, yes, Nancy Pelosi. The enemy is within the House. There are Democrats afraid that Republicans are just going to turn and kill them on the House floor. Because, first of all, Republicans want to kill Democrats. I think we all know that, right? That's the popular opinion. We're all white supremacists who want to destroy everything in our wake. That's how come so few American inner cities are left standing, and they have cameras watching Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills at all times, because all of us that want to kill Democrats are just looting and rioting and burning the place down. All right. But a couple of House members have wanted to exercise their constitutional rights and carry sidearms onto the House floor. And even some Democratic House members have invested personally, which probably means with government funds, in buying bulletproof vests. That's where we're at. The enemy is within the House. Yes, because Nancy, you're still there. Ha! That was a good one, wasn't it? Where are we now? Oh, Trump did something right. Biden Pentagon says Trump right-sized Afghanistan force, but officials won't commit to full withdrawal. And I think we had a slide that was supposed to talk about how they want to make the fence around the Capitol building permanent, but even a lot of members of Congress are saying, it's going too far. Even the mayor of D.C. is saying, we don't want this. Why? It hurts tourism. It's bad enough around the White House. They're asking in the press conferences. All the soldiers there. The mayor of D.C. now no longer wants them. Doesn't even want the windows boarded up. You know why? Because everybody knows we conservatives don't do that. We don't break windows. We don't riot. That's how come they're okay. Just the House got scared. See, they don't care what they do because they know we're not going to go out in the streets and say anything. Why? Because we'll figure it out. We're not like that. And I am not advocating storming the Capitol, but we should be able to go outside and raise a sign on the Capitol grounds. Or have lunch. If you've never been there, a lot of people go and have lunch. I mean, it's a place for families and everything. Planned Parenthood, this from lifenews.com, Planned Parenthood spent $45 million to get Joe Biden elected, and he just rewarded them with a $127 million payday. We have to defund big abortion. Well, you can't do that with the thief in chief in charge, because why? He's funding it with your money and mine. All right. Here's this one. Breaking South Carolina Senate passes a bill banning abortions when unborn baby's heartbeat begins. God bless them. How long will it be before that's overturned and they are labeled enemies of the people? And here we have, not me, them. Here we have Kansas legislature passes amendment saying there's no right to kill babies in abortion. I don't know how you would abort without killing the baby, but there's no right to it. And God bless them. I mean, somebody's got to say it. Come on. Oh, it's a right. Where? Because a few people sitting in a court said, oh, there's a right to privacy in the Constitution, which I still haven't found. And that means a woman can have her pregnancy terminated. I've never understood that reasoning, but it's there. Same way they did, just recently. Oh, the Civil Rights Act passed in 1964, where it says there shall be no discrimination based on sex, meant sexual preference and transgender identities. In 1964, it didn't mean that. It meant male or female, and certainly not sexual preference. Good grief. Homosexuality was still illegal in, if not all 50 states, most of them. Or sodomy. But no, we must continue to play these games, mustn't we? Yes. Because it's all lies. Biden's energy nominee admits some jobs may be sacrificed in climate push. Maybe just all of them. Unless you work for wind energy or solar energy. Where are we? Yes. What is this? Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. This is a commentary from Junkyard Dogs on Twitter. I don't know. A bit sociopathic, wouldn't you say? Biden walks away when asked about the sacrifices he's asking American workers to make as he kills thousands of jobs. And yet he says, I'm about jobs. Well, you can be about jobs in two ways, making them and destroying them. He has it both ways. It's just he's still about jobs. Oh, but don't wait. Don't despair. We have more job news coming. Where were we? Yes, let's try this one. Oh, yes, we have this great economic team. Just tell me that you feel confident after this.
So the choice couldn't be clearer. We have learned from past crises the risk is not doing too much, the risk is not doing enough. And this is the time to act now. I've asked Secretary Yellen, who's been leading this effort, to come in and we're going to go into some detail among ourselves. But I think she has a statement to make. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Well, there is a huge amount of pain in our economy right now, and it was evident in the data released yesterday. Over 1 million people applied for unemployment insurance last week, and that's far more than in the worst week of the Great Recession. And economists agree that if there's not more help, many more people will lose their small businesses, the roofs over their heads, and the ability to feed their families. And we need to help those people before the virus is brought under control. The President's American Rescue Plan will help millions of people make it to the other side of this pandemic. And it will also make some smart investments to get our economy back on track. I want to emphasize the President is absolutely right. The price of doing nothing is much higher than the price of doing something, and doing something big. We need to act now, and the benefits of acting now and acting big will far outweigh the costs in the long run.
Yes, it will. It won't. It what? Doesn't that group just lift your confidence? I mean, they can't even hardly read the script they were handed. And you know what? It is a script, because in the press conference, Jen Psaki said almost the same thing. They all say the same thing. It will cost more to do nothing. Really? If you look at the Rescue America plan, there's nothing in it that's going to help most people other than a $1,400 check. And of course, you know, a few other things. Most of it's going to government and cities, and it's... And who was in charge of the stimulus funds when President Barack Obama first took office? Joe Biden. And what did we find out later? That money was never went to where it was supposed to go. And Joe Biden the other day said, I was in charge of all the energy spending. And how many of those companies that they invested in, you and I invested in, it's our tax dollars, it's not their money, went bankrupt. Big grants, nothing in return, no return on it. And yet, we're supposed to trust these people. Yeah. I could say a lot, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Just start getting mad. Market alert, February 20th. Right now, things are looking okay. How long will they look okay? Well, let's see this, because, oh yes, more job news. Companies are preparing to cut jobs and automate if Biden gets $15 minimum wage hike, reporting shows. That is from the Foundation for Economic Education. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute, where'd I go? There I am. Sorry about that. Those 1.9 million minimum wage jobs aren't going to be there. So, all right. We know it. We always know it, don't we? Yes. What else do we have? A lot of pandemic news, and I'm going to apologize. I had a Twitter thread from Alex Berenson, and I don't have time for it because of some other things I thought would be better to show you. But I will try to put that up next time we have a pandemic section. New study shows hydroxychloroquine may be a benefit in treating the coronavirus after all. Huh. Wow. Who knew? Oh yeah, everybody. But couldn't have people not getting sick. We wouldn't need the vaccine, and boy, Trump would have looked really good, wouldn't he? Yeah. You know something you don't hear about a whole lot? The antibody treatment that President Trump and others received that really helped them. Biden to rescind, more about jobs, but also the pandemic. Trump's pandemic-era limits on immigrant and work visas, top advisor says. Trump instituted this limit because there's enough people unemployed. The medical system is overtaxed enough. There's enough problems. We don't need to bring more people into the country to live here and take jobs. But you see, Biden is only concerned about jobs. Not yours, not mine, not anybody in this country's. People outside the country. Which we have more on immigration because it all fits together. Is that what's next? Yes, one of the best reporters, I think, in the country today, Lara Logan. Biden White House expecting thousands and thousands of people to come into the United States. And that's not legally. They're expecting it. They want it. And the call goes out to all those wanting to come to the U.S. Come on. It's time. Let's go. Free money. Free medical care. What else does she have to say? Was we cover me up? I'm sorry about that. She told Fox News host Trace Gallagher that under the new administration, horse patrols and boat units and ATVs will be taken off their normal duties patrolling the border to keep people out. Remember, they already stopped construction of the wall. Taken off their normal duties, their security operations, and they'll be put with, along with most of the other resources, on immigrant care. Yeah. Your border patrol money is going to be given to care for those who illegally come across the border. Yep. So what you're doing is defining the border in terms of immigration as opposed to border security. Or even an approach that balances it. No, we're just pulling everybody back, just like everybody's doing. We were told that, weren't we? But no, oh no, they'll protect us. What, as a friend of ours, you say, what planet do you people live on? All right, here we go. So we're defining the border in terms of immigration as opposed to border security, or as opposed to an approach that sort of balances the both of them. And this is where the real issue comes in that for border security operations, the reality is that the cartels in Mexico, they know perfectly well how to exploit the flow and the movement of people, and they use that as cover. Yeah, they're not stupid. And the people in Washington, D.C., as much as you may think, they're not either. They want the cartels to bring, more drugs came in under Obama than any other time, and Clinton. I mean, there's payoffs, people. Get a clue. So that's when they moved back to Lara. That's when they moved the kind of high-value sort of people who are paying a lot more money to come into the U.S. undetected, whether they're spies or terrorists or hackers or whoever it happens to be. That's when they're moving more of the drugs. That's when they're moving the weapons. That's when they're moving everything. They exploit that issue, and as long as it's only defined as a conversation about immigration, then you don't address the security issues. And of course, what else? What else? The statement from Honduras when the migrant caravan that's heading for the U.S. right now came up against Guatemalan forces when they forced their way into Guatemala and 2 people were killed. The Honduran statement was that migration is a human right. Except unless you have a passport, if you leave your own country, the United States, you can't get back in. But now you can because they're not watching the border. I bet they can see white people coming over. And again, it's not racist. Again, these people, I don't blame them. You blame the people in charge, not the people trying to get a good deal. They killed 2. 2 people were killed. The Honduran statement that migration is a human right. So they're coming up with government-given human rights versus what the U.S. Constitution protects, which is God-given rights. There's this distinction there, and those lines are being blurred in their border policy. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between. I mean, I don't care if you're transgender. Don't you think we have enough trouble taking care of our own transgender population right now? I mean, but this isn't just we're gonna do it differently. We're taking, and they said that. If you listen to Bernie Sanders and everybody else during the primaries, we don't feel there should be any restrictions at the border, and that's what they're doing, and it's illegal, but nobody cares. Nobody cares because they want us overwhelmed. They want to change our culture. They want to change our country. Well, you're racist. No. It's not about that. And if you think that's about that, then, say, oh no, these immigrants will all boost our economy. Well, that's just the way it is. What are we supposed to do about it? Back to pandemic news, and all this in a pandemic. The Pentagon says that the 40 detainees at Guantanamo Bay will be given COVID-19 vaccines. The lack of vaccinations there has been a major obstacle to resuming war crimes hearings. Can you believe we still have 40 inmates there that haven't even had their war crime hearing? Can you believe Obama let nearly all of them go? And you probably hadn't even heard of Guantanamo for what? About 4 years? Yeah. U.S. teachers can't get the vaccination. Where was that? In Georgia? Somewhere in the South. This one hospital vaccinated the teachers in the area, and they got their vaccination supplies taken away from them because, no, we can vaccinate White House people, we can vaccinate Guantanamo inmates, but not people here. It's not your turn, you greed. We are so greedy. We were just always, some of those teachers might have even been people of color or immigrants, but no, can't do that. Can't help the ones that make sense. All right, what else do we have? Well, let's get rid of this one. All right, I'm having a processing problem here. Just a second. It's not the app, it's me. All right, so let's do this one if I can. Thank you for your help. All right, I just wanted to show you that. Look how many masks that guy is wearing. That is frightening. The people getting the information to us are wearing 2 masks. All right. Dr. Fauci. Not me, him. All right, here we go. COVID-19 variants will soon outnumber original strain, Fauci says. How many of you remember that Eddie Money song from the 70s? Take Me Home Tonight, I believe was the title. I don't know. But in it, he brought in Ronnie Spector, you know, from Be My Baby. Yeah, you know, from the 60s. Well, in that he says, just like Ronnie says, and she says, be my little baby. Well, we're going to change that to just like Fosse says, be my little baby. Because, he's everywhere. And we're going to prove that. No, we can't let COVID die. It's my new claim to fame. You got to keep me around. I might need a raise. And even $500,000 would really help. It is COVID time. I'm in distress. No, the new variants, they've got to keep it around. They need to lock us down at any time. They have got to keep that excuse around. Between all us white supremacists and domestic terrorists and the COVID, why don't they just drive through neighborhoods and gas us all? Yeah, they probably like to. All right. Feel like I'm moving slow today. Sorry about that. It is Friday. Dr. Anthony Fauci says the increasing spread of coronavirus mutations means vaccine makers must be ready to make new shots to stay ahead. Fauci says it's important to vaccinate as many people as quickly as possible. Wow. So those vaccine makers have to keep working and working and working. There was a fire in one of the plants just the other day before. The head of the CDC says each new case of the coronavirus should be approached as if it has been caused by a mutation. Yes. So now, we the old COVID, you didn't stay around long enough. So everyone has to be approached by the new mutation. Oh, goodness. We just keep going and going and going. And here you go, another double masker at the press briefing today. Really? Really? I just thought you would like those. Maybe you don't. All right, here we have Jen Psaki talking about pandemics.
Go ahead.
Dr. Fauci says the U.S. may not be able to meet that goal of reopening most K-8 schools in 100 days because of the trajectory of the pandemic. Given that, is the president going to adjust his goal of trying to get all these schools reopened in 100 days?
Well, as we talked about a little bit yesterday, the president wants to not only reopen schools, he wants the schools to stay open, but he does rely on the guidance of his health and medical experts. And obviously, he's not going to do anything that is not safe and doesn't keep teachers, students, and our school districts safe. But a key part of this is the guidelines, as we mentioned, the executive order he signed to ensure that.
Yes, the key part of that, he did do something. But they are learning, just as the Trump legal administration learned, whatever you say, Fauci's going to get in there and say something else. Just like Fauci said. Yep. Yes. Here we go. What else do we have here? Oh, wait a minute. Let's keep going because this is quite interesting, I think.
I have several announcements for you today. To begin, I know many of you and the American people are interested in the news coming from Johnson & Johnson's trial data. The president is encouraged by positive data on a potential new vaccine. He also knows that this is just new data, and now is the time for the FDA to do its job of evaluating the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. In the meantime, he continues to urge all Americans to mask up and follow public health guidelines until it's their turn to get vaccinated. Now,
all right, so keep in mind, the president, he's excited. He knows all about it. Well, let's just keep following our little thread. Is this it? I hope that it is. Let's just keep going. And you've got to listen to this.
I have several announcements for you today. To begin, I know many of you and the American people are interested in the news coming from Johnson.
Wait a minute. I just played you that one. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Oh, yeah, that was the Fauci one. Now I played you that one. Let's do this one. I don't really have a way to have these numbered yet, but we're working on it. But let's do this one, all right?
Relief to working families. Hence, he is also meeting this morning with his members of his economic team, with the Vice President and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen for a briefing on the cost of inaction and the impact of a delay in moving forward with a relief package. Millions of Americans don't have enough food to eat, and millions more have lost their jobs. But interest rates are at historic lows, and that means it's the right time to make smart investments. Moody's, a Wall Street firm, has said that we could end up with 4 million fewer jobs this year if we don't act on the president's plan. That's 4 million Americans who could get back to work. And I'm sure they will discuss all of that at their briefing later this morning. Last thing, we are.
All right, so later this morning. So obviously we heard the same script that we heard in the Oval Office meeting. Later this morning. Now she already told us what? President Joe, the thief in chief, is excited about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which I have been watching this longer than he has, I guarantee you, and it seems like a good vaccine, even though right now it only has like 85%, you know, he can only protect 85%. All right, but it's good because it doesn't have to be frozen. It's a single shot. You know, it'd be a little cheaper and all that. So anyway, now listen to this. Earlier today, she was saying how excited he was. Later today, yes, later today, he will be meeting with his economic team.
Thank you guys for coming. Mr. President, what do you think the Johnson & Johnson results?
Let's go. Thank you guys.
I'm waiting to hear from my team. I'm waiting to hear from the team on the detail of it. I saw the news reported this morning. I haven't had a chance to speak with Dr. Fauci. One point I want.
I haven't had a chance to speak with Dr. Fauci. I don't know anything about it. Dr. Fauci, just like Fauci says. Now look at this. I can't prove this, but watch. I'm going to back it up. Whose head do you think this is in
Mr. President, what do you think of the Johnson & Johnson
Let's
results?
go, Scott, let's go. Thank you, guys.
I'm
Thank
waiting
you.
to hear from my
Really
team.
good.
I'm waiting to hear from the team on the detail of it. I saw the news reported this morning. I haven't had a chance to speak with Dr. Fauci.
Great,
One point I want.
Could that be Dr. Fauci's head? He's sitting there during the economic briefing. Could that be his head? Because as soon as they said that, he leans forward. Watch again.
Thank you, Dr. Trump. Mr. President, what do you think of the Johnson & Johnson
Let's
results?
go, Scott, let's go. Thank you, guys.
I'm
Thank
waiting
you.
to hear from my
Really
team.
good.
I'm waiting to hear from the team on the detail of it. I saw the news reported this morning.
I mean, the man is everywhere. Was he the chief science officer? This is all about the pandemic, this financial money. And you notice his leg was crossed. Somebody was just sitting there, and as soon as they asked that, oh, I'm ready to talk, boss. I mean, really? Really? Just like Fauci said, be my little baby. Yeah, everybody's his baby. All right. And you know what, though? I want to give you this. And I'm about to give you some stuff where you'll need to hear this first. Psalms 27, I put 14 through 14, but it's really 13 through 14. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. So you know what? Like I said, it's religion and everything else. Don't give up. God understands it. I mean, it's one thing under Obama. As far as we know, he was legally elected at least the first time. But this is illegal, and what they're doing is beyond the pale, as they say. So don't faint. Don't give up. Call on God. Ask him for help. Ask him to help others. Ask him to help our nation. He'll do it. Don't faint. We would, except we know the Lord. So don't do that. All right. And you needed to hear that now, maybe at the end of it. I don't know, maybe we'll put it up again. Because we have what now? Where is it? We have exclusive God formation. Yes, we do. And so we put up our fireworks. Yes, we do. Yay. All right, we're running out of time. I'm sorry, it's Friday. I guess I'm moving slow. I'd hope to be higher energy today. All right. We have a few things to let you know. I think we mentioned this before, if I can find it here. I think we said this a couple of broadcasts ago. They watch the clock, but not when to go, but when to give medication. One of them said, one for him, one for me. I wish. I wish one for me. Even his longtime advisors are wondering how long he can make it. They really are. Now, Monday. Just can't trust that day. Look for some bad information. It's a day of fear. A small leak will appear, and everyone's going to be suspect, for too many want Mr. Biden gone. And they don't know who's going to be doing it. You do reap what you sow. You live by leaks, you'll die by leaks. Also, a spy is underground and waits for the perfect time to pounce. Everything that is said is heard, but it isn't from the Republicans. It's not from Trump. It's from the handlers and the watchers. Yeah, they are making sure everybody keeps in step. It's all going to start coming out, believe me. Now, that little leak may not seem like much, but most big leaks start from little leaks. Just hang on. We may not know on Monday, but they're already discovering it, and the news is going to come out. All right, planners, and then I'll let you go for the week. Mother Earth is their goddess, and the sun is their devil because he's burning up the earth. And the moon is their inspiration. You're the reason that I live. You're my inspiration. Okay. Little Chicago, the windy city. But where we're living is windier, Amarillo. Or we don't live here, we're just here right now. They want a new word, a new Bible. The planners are meeting today. This is what's going on. They want a government-approved version, one that brings in the needs of modern man, that fully brings in the needs of modern man. A word where climate and race are prominent. Where right and caring government is supported. That would be them. Where ministers lift up the people and bring us into greater harmony. Yeah, no, none of that God stuff and hell stuff and everything, except for people that oppose, I'm sure. But it's about climate. It's about race. They're making calls to Joel, TD, and Anthony for help. And this has nothing to do with them. Don't get upset with them. They just see them as people that can help get this done. Yeah, and they're making calls to publishers. No old, no new, only now. Only science. Yeah, that's what they're meeting. Paid by us. They're meeting to do that. Also, their thought on Israel today. Israel is trouble. Next week, we will know more. Obviously, there's some things going on. Call the man. Get us the information. Pass along our concerns. Netanyahu is out, but they don't want Gantz. Power must be shared. So that's where they're at. They're still stuck on that. And Biden's nominees are going along with it. But remember, let's put it back up. Where is it? Psalms 27, 13 and 14. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That means here, not heaven. Yeah, heaven's great, but we're here. Unless you're in heaven and you're watching this from there. Maybe God lets them watch. I don't know. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Wait on him. Those that wait upon the Lord shall what? Renew their strength. And we're going to. This gets me down. It's very depressing. See our nation done like this. But we're going to see the answer. We're going to see the answer. I'm hoping one day next week we can have more of a just discussion show and cover a lot of things. But till then, it's the weekend. And remember, we're basically safe because the president is going to have to put a lid on it. All right? So, the pretend president, the thief.